Welcome, y'all.
Hey, Sherri.
Hey, Tammy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing just as good as I was an hour ago.
Oh, we're doing back-to-back recordings today, but we did change our shirts in between because we
Yes.
got to promo someone.
Yes, we do. With these shirts. And then go over and show the blue. It's got the whole pelican.
Awesome shirts.
Yeah, they're very cute shirts. I ran into somebody today who sells these shirts. He was doing some work at my house and he was wearing a purple one. And, you know,
Oh, purple.
I love purple.
Me too. It's my favorite.
I picked the blue so it would show up on the show a little better.
Mhm.
But he sells his shirts on Facebook, on his Facebook page, Louisiana Life.
Oh, cool.
And that's LUZIANALIFE. Louisiana Life on
Awesome.
Facebook. And if you want to, if you're from here, or there's a whole lot of people that just love
Louisiana. And if you want to support a local business.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're
and
so
thank you,
welcome.
Louisiana Life, for the t-shirts.
Yeah, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, I really love this.
That's gorgeous.
That fleur-de-lis.
He doesn't leave you with just one bit of logo. He does your arms and your back.
Got it on
your
the back.
And he's got some very manly colors in his stock.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I just realized I don't have a drink.
Well, you want to go grab that?
I'm going to grab a drink.
It's right there.
But is it up there on the counter?
Yes, it's right by my purse.
Thank you. But when I go grab my drink, y'all tell the listeners what you're drinking and chat amongst yourselves.
We sure will. Okay, Chandler, what you got?
I'm still drinking half and half twisted tea.
Do you need another one? No, that's pretty light.
Yeah, I'll take another one.
And I've just got a Dr. Pepper Zero.
Love a good Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that's real good. And did you see Chandler's koozie? If y'all come to any of our events, you are sure to be able to go home with 3 or 4 of those. Aren't those adorable? And again, purple, my favorite color. And we didn't even know each other when she chose all that.
No, purple's one of my favorite. I love purple and pink. Those are my 2 faves.
You know, this spring was just our 2-year anniversary.
You and I?
Yeah.
I didn't know we had an anniversary.
The only reason why I know it is because
when we had our meet and greet and we met.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was doing a search with your name in my emails to pull up some shows.
Yeah.
And that popped up and I was like, dang, it feels like we've been friends for 10, 15 years.
Happy anniversary, friend.
Happy anniversary, Tammy.
Okay, you're telling us a story.
I am.
Is it, you said it like it's going to be a doozy.
It is a doozy. And it was one that I felt like we knew.
Okay.
But one of our listeners requested this, Chelsea C.
Chelsea C sends me so many story ideas. Thank you, Chelsea.
And I got into it and it was a
good one.
It was a good one when I got deeper than what I knew.
Okay.
Okay, because this wasn't that long ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on, before we start, I gotta crack this open. So
Crack it.
Let us hear that.
Crack-a-lack.
If I can get it.
Twisted tea in
There
the
we go. Okay.
All right,
So,
Sherri. I can't wait to hear this.
2018.
2018.
So not too terribly long ago. Culturally, the Me Too movement started.
Okay.
They didn't catch who they thought they were going to catch with that now, did they?
Wasn't that all about the man, I want to say Harry or Henry Weisberger? What's his name?
Harvey Weinstein.
There you go. Is that who they were?
That's one that they caught.
Okay.
They kind of, so actresses and singers and things were like, hey, this is horrible. This is what we deal with every day.
Yeah.
Well, politicians took off with it. And they were like, ooh, we're going to bring down Republicans with this.
Okay.
Almost everybody that was caught was a Democrat or a Democratic donor. So that's why we don't hear about Me Too so much anymore.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it went the other way.
Sweep that under the rug.
Yeah. Okay. Beyonce headlined Coachella.
Well, good for you, Beyonce.
And Coachella was still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Harry and Meghan got married.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Timberlake was the act at the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Super Bowl
Yeah.
halftime show. I love JT.
Yeah, and then who was it? You talked about Nicki Minaj.
Minaj and her Anaconda. That was in 2014.
Yeah, well, she and Cardi B had a fight in public. Cardi threw a shoe at her.
Bitches. Bitches will be bitches.
Okay, and this story.
Yes.
This story was big for 2018. It was everywhere.
Am I going to know it?
Yes.
Okay.
On October 15th at 12:53 a.m., a call came into 911 in Barron, Wisconsin. It's not too far away from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. No words were heard. No words were spoken onto the call, but there were sounds, screaming,
Oh,
thumps.
God.
No, this was not. This
Wasn't
was
just
not
heavy
a perp.
breathing.
No.
No. Screaming.
Yeah, screaming, thumps, bangs, and then
somebody's getting beat.
the call went dead.
Oh.
Dispatcher tried to call it back. No answer.
Now, by 2018, don't we have some locating sensibilities?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And they knew exactly where the call came
Okay.
from.
All right.
So the cops weren't playing around. They took off and went.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what's happening yet, but that call, I mean, there was definitely something bad going down. And they get there in 4 minutes.
Nice. Way to go, Popo.
That is not how things happen here,
Mm-mm.
which is why we all have ways of dealing with things.
Yes.
Cops are more the cleanup crew here.
In Louisiana, she means not at my house.
Not at
she
her
doesn't
house,
mean
but,
at my house.
You know, if you're outside of a city, your next law officer, I mean, my house, they could be 20 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So they get there and they find Jayme Closs dead in his front door, in the doorway.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's the husband / father of this family. He's dead in the doorway, shot in the head. The police make entry into a locked bathroom. Well, no, a busted down door of a bathroom.
Okay.
And Denise, the mother / wife of this family, is dead in the bathroom, shot in the head.
Wow.
Her wrists and ankles are taped up.
This is horrific.
This is horrific. And this town has less than 4,000 people.
Wow.
My old high school, and we're considered a small city, now has, I think, 2,500 kids.
Yeah.
That's
Just the high school.
Just the high school.
Yeah.
There's more than 4,000 students in my very small city.
4,000 is
not a lot.
No, it's not.
So right away, these cops knew somebody was missing. They knew their 13-year-old daughter should have been there.
That was my thought process, is like,
Yeah.
Kids, where are the kids?
And they only had the one,
Okay.
Jayme. Cute little house, you know, pretty small. It almost reminded me of kind of an upgraded 2-bedroom trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think they now call them modular housing,
Mm-hmm.
but it was older. Wasn't very big, so there wasn't a lot of places for her to hide because this was just for a family of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this gets everybody going into overdrive. Mom and dad are violently murdered. 13-year-old girl's gone.
Small town.
Mm-hmm.
They're bringing the posse out.
I have never seen a police force work this well.
Wow.
I mean, I was impressed. There was no reason on their way there for them to think that anything weird was happening. They had never been called to that home before. They had, you know, they knew something bad was going on.
Because of the 911 call.
Because of the 911
But
call.
they weren't like, oh, here we go to the Smith's house again.
Yeah.
They beat each other weekly and we gotta, yeah.
Or we're going to the local drug dealers.
Right.
Or, you know, and these people weren't rich enough to be a home invade. You know, there was
nobody's
nothing.
going to steal stuff from, okay.
They weren't thinking usual suspects. But these cops noted the cars they passed on the way.
Wow.
That's some
That's
police work.
That's pretty intuitive.
Yeah. Okay. But they couldn't stop. They couldn't give
No,
chase.
no.
They couldn't.
They were trying to get
knew
to the
there's
scene.
an emergency.
Yeah.
It could have been, anything going on there. There could have been a fist fight between mom and dad. I mean, menopause sucks.
Thank you.
I can tell you.
Chandler
Not
knows.
really.
Chandler knows he's having to deal with me while he's home for the summer.
Sometimes you just can't take another thing.
No.
And you might throat punch your husband.
Like the show, Snapped.
Yeah.
That I've been hooked on lately. Okay, so Jayme's missing. Police are doing a great job noting the vehicles leaving the
Yeah.
area.
As they're heading to the call. That's just stellar.
That is.
And then here, they know there's a problem. They know something big is going down. They almost immediately call in the FBI.
Oh, wow. They're like, we're too small to handle this. This is way out of our league.
Yeah.
We need help.
There was none of this,
Well, also when a child goes missing, I feel like the FBI needs to come in anyway, simply for the whole crossing state lines and
Oh, absolutely. And, as it becomes apparent, there's a whole lot of Minneapolis that bleeds over into to Wisconsin here.
okay.
Because the news stations that were reporting on this were more Minneapolis centered.
The big cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, how North Mississippi and Tennessee, like all their shopping, everything happened. So it would have been real easy to cross a state line.
Okay.
Wouldn't have seemed weird. Okay. And then they get the word out to the whole world that 13-year-old Jayme is missing.
I still don't know the story. So, I mean, maybe I will by the end of it, but I still don't know the story.
Jayme is a cute little redhead with
Oh.
and like she looks like she could have been one of my cousins because she's got that kind of reddish hair, blue-gray eyes,
Oh.
big smile, and because she's young, her teeth are a little too big for her head still. Just sweet looking thing.
Precious baby angel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The rest of us worldwide kind of assumed that Dad was up to something.
But Dad was dead.
Dad was dead, but almost all home invasions happen at drug dealers' homes.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like Dad was a drug dealer?
That's what the rest of us in the world were kind of assuming.
Oh, I thought
is-
you meant like Dad was up to something, like he was molesting her.
No, like
he had some nefarious people coming over.
yeah, we'll see it on TV, but in real life, normal people do not suffer home invasions.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
They're not people that want to steal your stuff do not wait till you go to sleep and come in to rob you.
Yeah.
They wait till you go to work.
Yeah. I was going to say, they don't want to be, they don't want
Yeah.
you to be there. Yeah.
So anyhow, but that's what the rest of the world, just because if you hear something like this, and then most often,
Unfortunately, we all go to the dark place right off the bat,
yeah, or even
They
just-
couldn't have just been killed for no reason.
right?
Yeah.
And then just running the statistics.
Yeah.
That's what it would be. But so we thought that happened, and his family paid the price for his bad behavior. But the people in the town did not believe this at all.
Yeah.
There were two things about James that I kept hearing over and over again in interviews. He loves Wisconsin sports.
That's the
And-
cheeseheads, right, Chandler?
Yeah.
Yep. Green Bay.
But
Green Bay.
And he'd also watch the Badgers. He'd watch like everything. He was hockey, basketball, baseball.
So
everything.
it's kind of like us with LSU.
Yes.
I don't care for baseball, but I'll watch it if
I'll
LSU
watch
is.
it.
But gymnastics, I don't typically turn on, but when they did the championship this year, I was watching
it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that they kept saying over and over again about him was he keeps himself to himself.
Yeah. He's not a drug dealer.
He's not a drug dealer.
Yeah.
All he did was work, go home and watch games. That was his whole life.
Yeah.
Not a bad life.
No.
I was about to say, it sounds like a good life.
That's kind of what Chandler does now, except for the work part.
Throw in some cheese curds and a nice beer here and there. Okay. Denise, she was the redhead of the family, and that's how Jayme got her hair.
Oh,
She worked with her husband at the Jenny O Turkey Store, which
That's
is a
right.
weird name to call a factory.
Jenny O.
turkey store. They
Oh,
call it
it's a factory.
yeah, that is a plant.
They should have just called it Genio, because
I
I've heard
know.
of Genio turkey store.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I know.
All right. Did they like work the night shift or something?
Not right now. This place does have shifts and they can change and alternate. And I think that here in other interviews, at times they had worked
Different shifts.
different
But right
shifts.
now they're just
They're
like,
like 7 to 3.
yeah.
Okay. And they had been there for years.
Yeah,
Like-
there's probably nothing else to do.
Probably
in
not.
this.
There's 4,000 freaking
Yeah.
people.
3,000 of them probably work at the Genio turkey store.
Very likely. Because half of the people that I heard interviews on worked at the Genio turkey store.
Do you think for Christmas and Thanksgiving, Genio turkey store gives their employees turkeys?
I don't know. I don't know if I could.
Unplugged. Just-
No. Because I think Genio is like, I don't feel like they sell whole turkeys. I feel like
They
they sell
sell, like,
lunch meat.
Lunch meat and turkey bacon and
So that's what they give them.
Maybe the store's like
I'm
out front.
wondering if
Like
you
they
would
got like a
like-
separate like
The factory's out back.
and that's a big branch of Hormel. So
Mhm, mhm.
maybe the other plants send over a ham and Genio
Something.
sends
I
them
just
a
hope
turkey.
they're not just giving them some lunch meat.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay, sorry.
But they
Derailed.
do seem to be nice as a
company.
As a company.
And it sounds like the people that work there were nice people. 'cause
Nice,
they
hardworking
gave
people.
They gave interviews.
Yeah.
So,
So she was a little more social than her husband.
okay. I know that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave is way more social than me.
There's always one.
There is.
There's always one troublemaker in the pair.
And it's good because all those things that stress me out, like just calling to check on people,
He does that for you.
he does that for me. He gives
Awesome.
me the 5-minute cliff notes at night,
Perfect.
and I can just keep on doing my thing.
Do you know what I think I love most about? Sorry,
It's okay.
we're getting off on a tangent. We're sidebarring. The thing that Harold does for me other than cooking, is I will plan a vacation. I do, the itinerary, make the arrangements, book the hotel, do all of that. But once we leave the driveway to go to the airport or drive wherever the vacation is, he handles the rest from there. Like he makes
So
sure
you can enjoy your vacation.
Yes, he makes sure we get to where we're going on time. We get through baggage. He unpacks the suitcases. He packs the suitcases when it's time to leave. Like he handles all of
He
that.
walks across Disney and prints out the fast
Yes,
pass.
he does. He
Oh.
would walk across Disney, print out the fast pass. I would drag the kids along with me, meet him. Like he just
That's so
handles
nice.
everything once we get there.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
really
a little
great.
more. I kind of do that for Dave too, mostly about the navigating the airport.
Yeah.
As we've discussed, my husband's a little more melanated than I am, so my face should be the face that security sees.
TSA pre-check. White lady with blue eyes coming through.
Look, there are airports I go to that I've never flown out of before, and because I am so white looking,
See through.
yeah. Y'all, this is so much fake tanner. Just so it'll show up on camera. They're like, "Oh, Miss Sherri, you've flown with us before. Just going through. Don't even take your shoes off." And I'm like,
No.
what the heck?
Okay, I ain't asking
Is
no
this a
questions.
trap? But not when I fly with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little different. A little different.
He is a little more brown than you are. Yeah. Okay, so
Okay,
sorry.
so
back to I
Back
might
to
have
this.
to cut that
So
whole part
she's-
out.
Nah, we can keep it.
Okay, so she's the outgoing one.
She's the outgoing
He's
one.
more like, let me watch my sports and have my beer and my cheese
Mhm.
curds.
And so she even though she's more outgoing, she only does family, church, and Jamie's activities.
I mean, it's a small town. There's probably not
Yeah, she's not going to hang out at the bar.
Right.
She's
like
not-
I would be.
Yeah, there's nothing. And if you hear that one of these women's hanging out at a bar and they're married, you start
Oh,
thinking there
yeah.
might be another guy. No,
Right.
not a hint.
So we have no leads.
No leads. And she would even take Jamie to go see his side of the family. They live a little further away.
And he wouldn't go.
It wasn't so much that he wouldn't. He would just prefer to call them on the phone, stay in his recliner. I ain't got no hate for that.
No, I ain't hating on it either.
Okay. So if there was anything illegal or sketchy about these people,
They didn't know it.
you would have known in 4,000 people,
Yeah.
and you worked with most of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to be a thing. So Denise's family lived close by. And
By close by, are they part of the 4,000 town?
Yes.
Okay.
or at least some of them are.
Okay.
And she loved angels. She put everything, like she had angel decals, angel
Mhm.
figurines.
Angel pins on her shirt.
Yeah, when she was talking to somebody, she'd say, "Oh, can you look up in the clouds? You see that's an angel right there." I mean,
Mhm.
she's just one of those kind of sweet people. So and they looked just like what you'd expect a middle-aged, Midwestern, middle-class couple to look like. Little round,
Mm-hmm.
nothing special, just hardworking, normal people. So the next theory that everybody had, and this one some of the townspeople were going with, was that Jayme had met some guy online.
Makes sense.
Yeah, she's 13. Maybe
Yeah.
she come across him playing a video game or on Facebook or something.
Chris Hansen.
Yeah. But Jayme,
Well, I mean, she didn't meet Chris Hansen.
But-
Chris Hansen interrupted whoever she was meeting.
Jayme was naturally reserved and shy.
So she wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her friends and her family were like, no, she couldn't. And it wasn't like one of these kids that had never dated or had a boyfriend because mom and dad wouldn't let them.
She was just shy.
She was just shy.
And I mean, small town, you're a little bit more conservative too, I think.
Mhm.
Like, you know.
Okay. So the whole family's baffled. They couldn't figure out what could have happened. You know, the family's thinking maybe somebody either that he had a spat with because they were
They were rooting for
a different team. Or a game didn't go the right
Yeah.
way, or kind of more likely they thought because he'd been at the factory at the store for
Mhm.
so long that he had a position of authority. Maybe somebody got mad at him because he was rough with someone verbally,
Mhm.
because he wasn't a sweet talker. Get your butt over there and get to work.
He sounded like a good old country boy to me.
Absolutely. Okay. But they were like, this is way too hard for a work beef.
Right.
And it wasn't like he fired somebody. So this case captured the whole country's attention. Jayme was everywhere. You know, she was on
Missing.
Yeah. I mean, her face was on all news programs. Whenever I was doing research, I was finding things on CNN, NBC, CBS.
Yeah.
I mean, she was, and I'm not talking about affiliates in
No, you're talking about the major network.
Major networks on the national news. They're doing searches. Volunteers numbering over 2,000 people. So it's
Half the town.
Freaking town
Half the town.
are searching for her. The FBI eventually had to pare down the number. You know, they had put 200 agents there initially, so they had to pare them down to 40.
Okay.
But that's still
That's
a
a lot.
lot.
Yeah.
And I say agents, but I maybe should move it to personnel,
Okay.
because I'm not sure if they were all actual agents. But-
Some could have been administrative type people
Yeah.
handling paperwork and stuff like that.
So they had to pare down their presence as days turned to weeks and weeks turned into months.
Wow.
This town did not give up hope.
Really?
They do not. They put up a special Christmas tree for her, did a tree lighting, sang songs.
Yeah,
made
because this
poems.
happened in October, right?
Mhm.
Ugh.
And she's still missing at Christmas.
Mm.
She
Wow.
doesn't make it home by Christmas. And so the rest of the country, we're like, yeah, we want to find out what's happened, but she's dead.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean-
Chan, have you heard this story?
I've not.
I haven't. I still don't know what it
This
is.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, she's been gone nearly 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Most kidnapped kids.
You're not. Yeah.
In a stranger abduction.
No way. In 3 months,
You're dead.
you're dead.
Yeah. I mean,
You're way past the golden hour.
yes, absolutely. I mean, pretty much they start looking at recovery after 24 hours.
I mean, they probably had Amber Alerts out and everything else.
yes. And those Amber Alerts then got pushed with social media. That's how the whole nation started finding out about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I said, she looked like a little Hallmark kid.
Yeah.
I mean, she just
Shabby.
looked so sweet. So on the 88th day,
Mm.
Could you imagine not?
No. I have thought about these kinds of things before and how would I handle that? Like, how could I even function? How could I stop looking for my child? How could I do any of that?
Mhm.
How could I sleep? How could I eat? You
I
know?
know. And so on the 88th day, a Facebook group of family members of law enforcement and friends of law enforcement posts that Jayme has been found and that the family will be notified soon.
So why doesn't the family know yet? Okay.
Well, it was a fake. And so you do have to look at these posts like that, because a lot of times whenever friends and family of cops are on something, like I have some cops that are close to me, so I will know what's going on. If nothing else, somebody will say, "Hey, Miss Sherri, stay away from X part of town."
So somebody who knew somebody thought it was...
Or they themselves wanted attention, but it was a fake post. And
that sucks.
so, it was a fake. And one of Jayme's aunts had to go to bed. She was crying so hard she couldn't even function.
I mean,
because here it is, January 10th, and every day for the last 3 months, they've been hoping that was the day they were going to find this baby.
And now we have gone from fall to winter in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Okay. So, and these people are not like overly emotional people. You can't be an overly emotional person and
work at the Jenny O turkey store.
Yeah.
No.
And dig yourself out of snow every freaking day for 6 months.
No big
year.
deal.
Yeah.
Like this, no big deal.
But then a little after 4:00 in the afternoon on January 10th, a 911 call comes into Douglas County Dispatch. And a woman is on the other end and says, "Hi, I have a young lady at my house right now, and she says her name is Jayme Closs."
No shit.
Wow.
Yes. And this may be the part where you begin to remember.
Is it Closs? Like
Closs.
Santa Claus? Closs.
It's like class with an O. Closs.
Okay.
So Jan Nutter, which, oh my God, could you imagine going through school with a name like Nutter?
Oh my God, she got so much shit. But maybe she's married. Maybe she married a Nutter.
Maybe she
was just Jane. What was her name? Jane?
I hope she married a Nutter, but her name is Jeanne.
Jeanne Ballsy. Maybe that was her maiden name, and then she married a Nutter.
Maybe. So she's...
I'm a 12-year-old boy today.
Hey, that's me every day. She is out walking her dog, and this girl comes up to her wearing leggings, an oversized T-shirt, and a grown man's tennis shoes.
She in her jammies, girl. She going to Walmart.
And she says, "I need help."
Wow.
"I'm Jayme Closs.
And I've been missing."
Well,
no.
Jan knew she had been missing because Jan had just changed her profile picture to find Jayme.
Wow.
How cool is that? So she takes Jayme into a neighbor's house because she doesn't know what this girl has escaped from.
Yeah.
She's out there walking her dog. Neighbor's married.
She didn't want to have. Yeah. I get it.
So she gets her into Kristen Kazaniskas. We're going to skip over that and just call her Kristen K.
Yeah, I was going to say Kristen K.
Yeah.
Brings her over there.
Yeah, goes in there and says, "We need help." So Jayme is floored that these women even know who she is.
Because wherever she's been, she doesn't know everybody's looking for her.
She doesn't know everybody's looking for her. I imagine that this baby spent these 3 months she was missing, thinking that with her parents gone, everybody that ever cared about her was gone.
Do you think she knew her parents were dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Because she's telling them that right then.
Oh.
Wow.
So Jan had been following this case closely, and she takes her inside. They call the 911. That call lasts 30 minutes before the cops get there.
Up.
And so
obviously not the cops that were in the 4,000 person small town that were on it.
Right? I was like, this is much more like it.
Yeah.
It comes out
here. Yeah. Yeah.
Most of the time you got time to do the crime.
Yeah.
And clean up if you were not in a city.
Yeah.
Okay. So Um, and she tells them what happened early in the morning on October 15th. James, her dad, saw someone approaching the house, and he was thinking it must be the cops and asked for his badge number.
So somebody is either a cop or they're disguising themselves like a cop.
And instead of producing the badge, he lifts a Mossberg with a slug in it, not a shell, which is a much more compact. You know, it's much more like getting shot with a bullet instead of the spray.
Right.
Okay. Shoots her dad right there in the face through the glass door.
Jesus.
Denise grabs her phone and Jayme, locks her and Jayme up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Calls 911.
And that's the part we started the story with.
We started the story with.
The screaming,
This guy makes entry into the bathroom, tapes, gets mom to tape Jamie's mouth, but you know, Denise has never taped somebody's mouth before, so she kind of fails. So he grabs the tape from her, sets the gun down, wraps the tape around her head real quick, and you know, he's telling Denise,
"Sets the gun down, I would be all over that bitch."
I do understand,
but not everybody's the same.
Not everybody.
I'm not victim blaming here.
You know, it's a small space. We're not talking about like, you know.
Well, you're not. That's what I'm saying. It's a bathroom. You're not having to dive across the living room to pick up a gun.
But also, how much movement can you get before he catches you? And he tapes up Denise's wrists and ankles and then shoots her in the head anyway.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Yeah. So Jayme does know her parents are dead.
Jayme knows her parents are dead. He drags her out. They're slipping and sliding in the blood on the way out to the car.
Jesus Christ.
He throws her in the trunk and drives her to his cabin. And
where's the cabin?
It's in that Douglas County.
Okay.
So it's about
It's in another state.
No,
it's the same state.
They went the other direction instead of toward, so they went the other way.
All right.
And like Jayme had never even heard of the town she ended up in. It was one of the things on there. Do you know anybody in Douglas County? And she's like, "Where's that?" Yeah, it'd be like one of our kids knowing something in Calcasieu Parish.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you know Chandler, you know Calcasieu.
Don't ask me.
He's shaking his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully nobody kidnaps you and takes you to Calcasieu.
Yeah, and you gotta walk through and
slipping on me and Dad's blood the whole way out. So he's like, "Well, wow, Mom."
Yeah. And so he takes her to this cabin. He gets one of his sister's nightgowns and puts on her because hers has blood all over it. And her mom's brains.
Yeah.
And in that cabin for that almost 3 full months, he would hide her under his bed, kind of trapped in with stuff anytime he had to leave the house. He was treating her like they were actual partners, board games and TV shows and stuff when he was home.
But was he having sex with her too?
We kind of have chosen not to know.
Oh,
as a whole society.
So,
including, well, we'll get to that.
It was more like she was a girlfriend on a first date and they were being all nice. And I just want to ask, okay, so she started, I know you will have this part of this in this, but how old is he?
He's 21.
Okay.
Which shocks the crap out of me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So
Chandler's about to be 21.
Eventually, she kind of figures out his patterns because he would turn the music on so loud she couldn't hear where he was, if he was actually at home when he tucked her under there.
She sounds like a very smart 13-year-old.
She's a very smart 13-year-old. And so eventually one day he was gone. And I guess he was also like getting relaxed that she'd stay put.
Yeah, yeah.
So he kind of gave her a clue that he was going to be gone for a long time that day. And so after he goes, she managed to work her way out of her little under the bed dungeon. Mm-hmm. And she would be stuck under there sometimes for 12 hours without food, drink, or a bathroom. I mean, he would put her under there so he could sleep. So that's 8 right there. And it sounded like he also had company come over sometimes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. She didn't see I mean, he would keep her
Of
hidden.
Of course.
But
yeah, but to know somebody's right there that could help you.
I know. And this part kind of kills me that, she found his shoes and took off out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Here, we would have just taken off. But it's January in Wisconsin.
You had to have shoes.
You'd have
had frostbite. Your feet would have frozen. Yeah.
And especially having no clue where she was.
And you know what? If somebody kidnapped me and took me to a state that was really cold, I would just run away and not even think about putting shoes on, because that's what we do here. We just have bare feet all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you might cut your feet, you might stump your toe, but
but you're alive and
you're alive
getting
and
away.
You have all 10 toes whenever you leave. I don't know why I almost said all 6 toes.
All
Who's
6 toes.
6 toes?
Is there something you're not telling us?
No.
Do we need to post a picture of your 6 toes?
No,
3
I've
on
got
each foot?
all 10.
Okay.
They're pedicured and everything. Okay, so anyway, the cops get there and take her to the hospital. Early the next morning, she's released to one of her aunts.
Okay.
And the whole town is thrilled. Her family is thrilled.
I guess so.
Jayme never wanted to go back to the home.
I guess not.
And so there was an extra room. Within 5 hours, they went from this extra room being just cardboard boxes in there to they had it decked out as a princess room. Brand new bed, brand new bed sets, brand new. Because she has this big family, big hardworking family.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
and
good.
So, yeah. And so Cross told the police that the perpetrator's name was Jake Patterson. Told him he was driving a red Ford and they were able to catch him when he returned home that day.
Really?
Yeah, before she was even released from the hospital, they had him in custody.
No shit.
No shit. No, no manhunt, no nothing. And,
caught him in like 3 hours.
Yeah. And on his way home.
From work?
Actually ended up, he was going on a job interview.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so that was real fast.
Fuck him.
And he didn't put up any fight.
Well, he knew he did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Killed 2 people and took a little baby angel.
And it turned out that
I just feel like something bad is going to happen in a second.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good.
No, now we're on wrap up.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
So this guy did this, but why?
Yeah, that's...
Who is he? He's only 21 freaking years old. How do you get that twisted at 21?
I guess you're going to tell me.
No, actually, I'm never going to tell you that because I still don't get it.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say like, his dad was an alcoholic who beat him and molested him. And
yeah.
No, we don't know.
And the car was the car that the deputy took note of the night.
Oh, they were leaving. Okay.
Yeah, he saw the red Ford Taurus that night, but how are you going to find a suspect when this suspect is not connected to the people?
Yeah.
How many red Ford Tauruses are there?
Yeah, because typically in any kind of crime, the people know.
Mm-hmm.
The people know in some kind of way, shape, or form.
So like the deputy was like, I saw an older red Ford Taurus that was heading the other way as I was approaching the scene. But no family members, no employees, no nothing.
Not only that, without a license plate number,
right?
How are you just going to be like red Ford Taurus? Like that? Yeah.
Okay. So turns out this guy had seen Jayme getting on the bus one morning in early October.
He was like, she's mine.
And decided she was his. Became obsessed. He had even already been to their property twice and was going to kidnap her.
Did he tell the authorities that?
Yes. He immediately, as soon as they arrested him, he was like, yeah, I did it. Go ahead and take me.
God.
He didn't fight at all. But he had been to the house twice, chickened out because there was too much activity going on in the house. Mm-hmm. I guess
it was probably
earlier.
A football game and the whole fam was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kept having to do the math on this because I was like, there's no way that he's as young as he is. But this guy was only born in 1997. And this happened in 2018, ran through to 2019. There's no way around it. This guy just was able to buy alcohol.
And we don't know what kind of background he has.
His background was fine.
Normal.
Normal.
He just had some shit loose up top.
Yeah, he was a moderately okay student. He had joined the Marines and he washed out in his 5th week of boot camp. So he almost made it.
He didn't, yeah.
But that he wasn't discharged for mental reasons. He just didn't make the cut.
He rang the bell.
Yeah. He, the only thing like in his life, because his family's normal. In fact, his family's normal enough to have 2 houses and he was living in one of them.
Yeah. I was going to ask, how could he afford a cabin or whatever?
It's their cabin.
Yeah.
You know, where they get away from town at.
Their camp.
So that's a pretty normal.
Successful family.
Successful. Yeah, moderately successful. I mean, they're still going to work every day. But,
right.
I can't. The only thing that was weird about him was he no called, no showed to some jobs. He didn't seem to have any ambition.
Okay.
So
what happened to this old fool?
Yeah. Well, anyhow, we're gonna move on because we're gonna learn more. But we're gonna learn more mostly because of this guy Lou Ragoose.
Hey, the big Ragoose.
He works at the TV station KARE in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
KARE, Minneapolis.
He was their boots on the ground reporter through all this 90 days. And you spend 90 days with the same 4,000 people. You're interviewing the family over and over.
You're very intimately involved in the search.
And so he was really in the trenches.
Yeah.
And he, in fact, one of my biggest sources for this is he did like a 9-10 hour podcast.
Oh, wow.
On it. You know, it was broken up.
Yeah.
But I binged it this week.
Yeah.
Just because it really gave us a little more human perspective.
Of it, yeah.
Because for most of it was like girl missing.
So to be honest with you, I still do not know this story.
See, I thought you would have known whenever the dog walker got her.
No.
And the dog's name was Henry.
No. Chandler, have you ever heard this?
No. Still, yeah.
Yeah.
But Chandler was a little younger then.
Yeah, 20. Yeah. But
because this was 20.
But you know what, too? I've said this before on the podcast. I really don't watch the news because it's so horrific. And I know what we do on the podcast is horrific, but at least we have closure. So, yeah, I could see myself going, oh my God, there's a girl missing. Change the channel, you know?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, by the time for the rest of us, when it hit the holidays, we totally forgot about it. By the time it hit Thanksgiving. So it was only a couple of weeks. And if we weren't in the middle of it, if we didn't live up there, if we didn't think, like in South Louisiana, like we're going to come across a kid from Wisconsin.
Right. Yeah.
So it was not important to keep it at the front of our brain. Okay. And he handled this with a lot of grace to the family and with thoroughness. And he was just really good. And I read a lot of stories. I listened to both 911 calls.
Rough.
First one was rough. First one was real rough. And a lot of people kept saying they could hear voices and they could hear words. No, you can't. It's just screams and bangs. And that's it. Okay. So Jayme's with her family. Jake is in jail. He's already confessed. And the families are finally having a chance to heal. They were never able to mourn James and Denise.
No, because they're looking for Jayme the whole time.
And they're trying to stay hopeful for 3 months.
Yeah.
Every day. How can you cry for your brother and still manage to keep hope for your niece at the same time?
That's
it's hard.
Terrible.
So
horrific.
Ragoose sends Jake Patterson a letter on January 17th. So he's only been in jail for a few days. And he had questions. You know, this had consumed Lou Ragoose's life for 3 months. So there were things that were left open. No response. So he sends another one in mid-February. And he's like, I'm a reporter for KARE News in Minneapolis and have been covering the case since Jayme's disappearance, and I have many questions that have not been answered through the court filing. Please write back if you can. This time he writes back. Okay. And he answered all of the reporter's questions on a letter.
Wow.
He asked him why he confessed. And, you know.
He's probably like, so I could get convicted and not ever do this again to someone.
And he said, I knew I was caught. which I thought would happen even sooner than this. So why fight it?
Mm-hmm.
And then his next question was, what is your plan now? Plead guilty or take the case all the way to trial? And he said, I'm pleading guilty. I want Jayme and her relatives to know that. I don't want them to worry about a trial. What actually, was
courteous kidnapper?
Yeah. And he was going to plead guilty on February 6th, but the judge moved the arraignment to the 27th of March. So he would have already by this point pled guilty. And he says, what led you to kidnap this girl in the first place? And, he just put, it's not black and white. And he says, do you have any remorse? He says he's very remorseful. And
I mean, as much as a narcissistic psychopath could be.
This is the weirdest thing.
This is like the last episode where it was a to-do, to-don't list. He just fucking put it all out there.
He just put it all out there. He waited till after he was caught.
Yeah.
Put it all out
of course.
And he himself says that nobody had any clue he was planning on doing this. There were no signs about him being twisted. Yeah.
My question at this point is, and you may cover this and you can tell me to hold off.
Mm-hmm.
In all of your reading and research and listening, do you think he was going to ever kill her?
I don't think so.
He just wanted
a girlfriend, I think.
And she was the one he picked.
I guess.
Wow.
And he was like, what about after you had her? Where's your family looking?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, my dad only came Saturdays and nobody ever came to my room. They respected my privacy. And so he never went back to Barron, the town that this happened in, so that 3 months he stayed out of town. So the car wasn't where anybody could see it again.
Okay.
He did follow the news. And he was like, when did you, the reporter asked him, when in your life did you realize you were capable of doing something like this? And he said, I watched a 2020 special on the BTK killer. And he told a reporter that he knew as a teen that he wanted to do something like this. And he was jealous over the attention other killers were receiving. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was still part of the reporter's question. And he said, the cops say I planned this thoroughly. And anyhow.
Did he plan it?
Not that thoroughly. I think just that month.
It just happened to.
And this was mostly on an impulse. He wasn't sitting there thinking about kidnapping people for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And that's what the reporter was saying. Were you like the BTK that he wanted the attention or he had this drive? No. And he says, anyhow, this guy, he just saw the little girl. There was nothing this family could have done. He saw her, wanted her, took her. That's it. End of story.
No explanation, no reasoning. I mean, like what we would call.
Yeah. No abusive father, no alcoholic mother, no, I've been, hit in the head 27 times. Nothing.
Yeah. I wasn't molested as a child.
He was just a little lazy.
So we don't know because nobody said it if she was sexually abused.
Well,
I feel like she was.
Very likely. Very likely. And, he pled guilty to 2 counts of murder and kidnapping.
Okay.
He gave a statement, totally said he did it. There was only one thing that he was going for with his trial and his attorney was going for. They wanted to put the possibility of parole words on there, even if it was 120 years from now, because you can get psychiatric care if that is in your sentence.
Okay.
And they all felt like there was a screw loose.
I mean, more like psychiatric, not care, but what's the word I'm looking for? Like to figure out what was wrong with him so they could stop other people.
He wanted to see a shrink.
Okay.
And so that was the only reason.
Did they at least get him that? Is he still in jail?
He's still in jail. He's going to be in jail forever. He got life.
Okay.
They did not prosecute him in Douglas County.
Did they do it in the?
They did it where in Barron, where he had committed the murders and the kidnapping.
Okay.
But what they decided to do between the prosecutors in Douglas County, actually, Jake Patterson himself and the families decided we were not going to prosecute for what happened inside the cabin. We were going to protect Jayme from having to do anything.
That's a good.
We were going to protect. He already had multiple life sentences on him.
Yeah.
There is no reason to publicly state what happened at the cabin and have that become part of public record, and no reason to convict him of it because he was convicted of this crime.
I'm sure you do not have this because it sounds like the main priority was to protect Jayme.
Mm-hmm.
But this was 2018. She's an adult now.
She is an adult.
Do we know where she is now? Is she okay?
I didn't look where she was right now.
Is
I
she-
know that a couple of years ago she finally returned to dance. She it did take her a long time to be able to leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
But she used to take dance class, so she was finally back in dance class. She was finally beginning to live a normal life again.
Oh,
And I wanted to leave it there because I want to believe that Jayme is a college girl right now who is, dating and going to sorority parties.
I hope
and,
so. Yes.
that she has a horse and
Oh,
all
Jayme
the
Closs, you're a sweet baby angel. We're saying all of the prayers for you.
things. We are.
Oh, wow. Chandler, you have anything to say? You didn't say much during that one.
No, I didn't.
It was rough, huh?
Yeah,
It was rough.
It was a lot.
It was rough. Okay. Anything else on this story before I tell y'all something funny?
Oh, I do need to list the name of
Oh.
the podcast. It was 88 Days Later.
That was the name of the podcast?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay.
Good name for this case, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so this happened in Wisconsin, right?
Okay.
Is that right? Wisconsin?
Yes.
Okay. So I found on USA Today some of the weirdest laws passed in every state. So I'm going to go straight to Wisconsin.
All right.
Cheese standards are regulated. Wisconsin,
Of course.
Wisconsin takes its cheese seriously. State law requires that cheese labeled as Wisconsin certified premium grade AA meet a certain standard. It must be, this is in quotes, fine, highly pleasing, and free from undesirable flavors and odors. Don't we want all cheese to be free
Yeah,
from
that-
undesirable flavors and
Yeah.
odors?
I only want Wisconsin cheese now.
Okay, let me back up to, apparently this article has the states in reverse alphabetical order, which I cannot say them in reverse. I can say them in alphabetical order, but not reverse. So, Wyoming, no intoxicated skiing. No drunk skiing in Wyoming. State law holds that no person shall move uphill on any passenger tramway or use any ski slope or trail while such person's ability to do so is impaired by the consumption of alcohol or the use of any illicit control substance.
Okay.
That seems reasonable.
Seems very reasonable.
I don't think that's weird.
And look, if you're up there visiting and you're going skiing and you get drunk and you crash, you just cost that place thousands to get your butt down the mountain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not a big one for laws, but go for it because that's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like all ski slopes should probably have that.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, like go-kart tracks should have that. You don't want to ride amusement park rides if you're heavily intoxicated or on
But aren't
illicit
the people
drugs.
operating those rides heavily intoxicated?
Depends on what, if you're going to Blue Bayou, yes. But if you're going to like Disney or Universal
Oh, yeah.
Studios, they're not.
See, I'm thinking more carnivals.
Oh, carnies. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You take your life into your own hands if you're going to you went to a carnival recently, didn't you? And you were like, I'm not riding the carny rides.
I wouldn't call it a carnival, but the Jambalaya Festival.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Did they have rides there?
They did, and I would not get on those.
Okay, West Virginia.
Oh, this is good.
No lewd and lascivious.
Lascivious?
Yes, thank you. I've had a couple drinks before marriage.
Okay.
In 1939, West Virginia passed a law banning lewd and lascivious cohabitation and conduct before marriage.
Is that still on the books?
The law was finally repealed in 2010. 2010.
Where was that?
West Virginia.
Oh,
No fucking before marriage.
Okay, now I got to do it because we said West Virginia.
Mountain Mama.
Take me home,
Country Road.
Okay, it was stuck. It wouldn't have. Yeah.
This is the last one I'm doing because I.
hold up. Let me guess.
What?
Let me guess the state.
Okay, say them all in alphabetical order.
And you're skipping Wisconsin.
No, I did. I did
you're skipping it now.
Wyoming, Wisconsin, West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Okay, hold on. Let me think.
Take me home.
I'm gonna go with
Road.
Tennessee.
Washington.
Oh, of course.
Okay, it's illegal to kill Bigfoot.
It should be.
Yeah.
Bigfoot hunters, beware. Skamania County? Is that Washington?
Probably.
Passed a law in 1969 deeming the quote, the slaying of Bigfoot to be a felony and punishable by 5 years in prison. The law was later amended, designating Bigfoot as an endangered species.
Yeah.
Okay, where do y'all stand on Bigfoot for real? I don't think it's a real thing. Do y'all think it's a real thing?
I think that there are more primates than we know. I think most of the sightings have been mangy bears.
Oh, okay.
You skin a bear and it looks like you got a human hanging up there.
What do you think?
I kind of just want them to be real, just because like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's my other part on this. Before I die, I want another cryptid to be found because there's a lot of animals that we know are real now that were.
What about Nessie, the Loch Ness monster?
Yes, something like Nessie.
I'll pass on the Rougarou.
The Rougarou. The Rougarou. That's because you live in Louisiana.
Yeah,
I don't
The
wanna see that.
Rougarou.
but one of these things that we think is a myth, I want to be
real.
found
Okay.
before I die.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just, yeah, I get it.
Cryptozoology.
Mm.
So was the next state Tennessee?
The next state was not, it was Virginia. You skipped some letters, bro.
Yeah.
Reverse alphabet. Look, don't drink and drive because they make you do the reverse alphabet, and that's not going to serve you
It'll
well.
never happen with me.
It'll never serve you well.
As
If they
soon
made
as-
me do the reverse alphabet, I'm giving
You're
up.
just like,
Yeah.
here's my wrist.
No.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Let's go for a ride, boys.
All right. So thank y'all so much for being here.
Of course.
You're welcome. It
Thank
was a
you.
lot of fun.
Thank you for the story that I never heard of. Chandler, thank you for camera switching and being a part of the show.
Yep.
Maybe we can do that next time too.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And guys, if you want to help support the show, patreon/grits, patreon/grits, you can help support the show.
And if you don't have the cup of coffee to give up a month to throw our way, you can just like, comment, follow on all our platforms, especially YouTube right now.
Yes, we need YouTube subscribers because once we hit 1,000, we can actually start getting a penny every time someone watches one of the videos.
And that would be wonderful.
Also, y'all email us. Thank you to Chelsea for that story.
Mhm.
We have, I know Nicole O sent us an email. She's a Patreon member. And, Olivia C, she also sent an email. She's a Patreon. So y'all email us. And also keep in mind, we are going to be up for nominations in 5 categories in the month of July. So I will get some info out to y'all on how you can nominate us and how you can be selected for final voting. So it's that time of the year. Okay. Anything else? Oh, you want to give another shout out to
Louisiana Life. You can go find him on Facebook, LUZIANA Life.
.com. They have a .com on the pin.
You know what? Forget the .com. Just go to his Facebook page.
Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
Louisiana Life. Designer of t-shirts.
Yeah, designer of t-shirts.
Let me get mine.
He's been almost regulated out of the business because of license fees and this and that and the other. So if y'all could throw a few extra shirts at him, let him overcome what the man's taken from him.
That's right.
There we
Man
go.
always trying to beat him down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anything else, Chandler?
All good.
All right. Sherri?
Oh, nope, everything's great.
Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for listening. Be sure to go follow us, subscribe, and tell your mom and them to listen. And we're going to let Zydeco Mike take us out.